Well, this brings me to the second one. Make her jealous. Flirt with other women.
Dread, yes.
Yeah.
Those are the fundamentals of dread.
Yeah.
So making a woman jealous. Mystery and I have talked about this several occasions. Now, Mystery talks about it more in the proximate sense. I talk about it in the ultimate sense. So when Mystery talks about jealousy, like a woman cannot love you or cannot be invested in you until she feels jealousy for you. Now, he does that in the sense like he'll have one girl at the club and he'll be working this girl, and then there's another girl that likes him too over here in this other set, and so he'll leave the one girl and go over here, and if that girl follows because she's got an investment in him, she doesn't want the other girl to take him away, to take his attention away, right? So that's in the more like immediate proximate sense. I talk about it in terms of a long term, which is like dread, okay, or competition anxiety or urgency. Sex, in my opinion, should be urgent. It should be uncomfortable. It should be anxiety. It's not about comfort. It's not about rapport. It's not about, oh, let's spoon before we have sex and that kind of shit. It's like if there's not a mutual sort of urgent desire for the other person, that's not going to form that's unmitigated as opposed to like being mitigated, which is like you'll hear women say, I have to be comfortable with you before I have sex with you. You don't have to be comfortable with the guy who's the hot dude in the foam cannon party in spring break in Cancun because it's immediate and it was right there. He was hot and one thing led to another, right? That's why I always say, like in my iron rules, right? Iron rule number 3, which is any time a woman makes you wait for sex, the sex is never worth the wait. That rule is not about the sex. It is about the desire, is what it is.
Well, but I'll challenge you on that because maybe it's also because I've had a lot of sex, but it's like I enjoy edging. Like I love prolonging it. It's easy for me to just have sex with someone. I actually love that buildup. I love the absence of it. So that's not like a strategy to get you to commit. Literally, like I have sex outside of. I'm not in a relationship, so it's like that's not my.
What I'm talking about in that sense is like guys who get into these situations where the woman makes them jump through hoops, right?
And you know the difference.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, most guys don't, though. So when I say, women have boyfriends and girlfriends, if you're not fucking her, you're her girlfriend, right? Because she sees you as a confidant, as a brother, it's a comfort area rather than an urgent, hot monkey sex area. The other thing is like women make rules for betas and they break rules for alphas. So the breaking of the rule is a woman breaking rules to see is she like calling in sick to work because she wants to fuck you for the whole day, or is she saying, well, I'm not going to have sex with you until you until I see your 401k, until I see your 1099 forms, until my mom approves of you, until my girlfriends approve of you, until you measure up to these particular things. Then I'm not that kind of girl. I don't want you to think I'm easy. Blah blah blah. And it's like. Then she'll, but yet you still had you still fucked the lacrosse team, right?
Yeah, so, sounds fun.
But there's validational sex and there's transactional sex. If you're jumping through hoops for a woman and trying to qualify her, first of all, you're out of your frame, you're in her frame because you're accepting her tests, right? But it's mitigated by something, and usually it's mitigated by that girl getting a better offer. Most of the time, she's got you on a bullpen, and she's got 3 other guys, and you might be at the top of the list, but she's gonna want to see if those other 3 are gonna pan out, and they're gonna do something, value added kind of thing. Meanwhile, in her, no more fun for you. Like the fun was back when she was younger and she was having sex with guys who were like not good for her, and she was going through her journey of self-discovery and making bad decisions and everything. But now I'm going to get right with God, and now I'm going to do this, and you better measure up and meet all these requirements, like that one clip that we talked about in Access Vegas. If you don't measure up to these things, then we don't have a future together. Right. And I'm not looking for a future. I just want to have sex with you, right? And then maybe we'll see how it goes from there. But like guys who are in that position of negotiating don't realize that they're negotiating, and you can't negotiate genuine desire. Yeah. And so.
But what about responsive desire with women? I mean, so there's spontaneous desire and there's responsive desire. And a lot of women do physiologically, in order for them to get aroused, and I'm talking about mostly longer term partnerships, Like they can't be anxious. I actually eroticize anxiety, so I'm a different beast. But there's spontaneous and there's responsive, and a lot of women tend to be responsive. I don't think that's the same though, because I agree. Like you can't negotiate genuine desire, but just women come to it in a different way. Like it's not always spontaneous. It's not always primal. You know?
I think a lot of the times when like women go to like marriage counseling or they go to like couples therapy or whatever the fuck it is. A lot of it is really centered on that guy altering his behavior in order to make the woman feel more comfortable, do more chores around the house, do these things, so she'll have the freedom to feel more attracted to you and everything else. And the fact of the matter is, it has nothing to do with what the guy's doing. It's the fact that she simply just doesn't have any genuine desire for him. Whether she comes to it from a position of urgency, or she comes to like, oh well, I got to work up to it. There's no, unless you're in the manosphere, in the red pill space, there's no education for guys as to how to arouse a woman, how to attract a woman. In fact, you're supposed to magically know that already as a guy. It's supposed to be just part of your like operating system you're born with. But I think that when women get into those situations where they have to talk themselves into having sex with it, like have that internal conversation, well, he is my duty sex, you know. The Lord said in the Bible that I'm supposed to not deny my body to my husband, and so therefore I'm just, okay, are you done yet? I got laundry to fold. Are you finished? You know, that kind of stuff. You're still having sex. You're still, maybe you even get into it after a little while. But the thing is it's not something you look forward to. It's not so, it's 2:00. I really want to have sex with my man. It's not like you're waiting for him to get home from work in lingerie with 2 martinis in hand, right? It's because it becomes routine and becomes mundane, and I think that the burden of romance is squarely on men right now, but I think if women really were to sort of work it up themselves and try to be like, most women aren't with guys that they admire. They're not with guys that they maybe they did prior to getting married, but like once they get married, like familiarity and comfort is anti-seductive. And so if you have to talk yourself into it, that's a whole different animal than, man, I can't wait to rip his fucking shirt off as soon as he walks in the door, and I want to just ride him to glory every Tuesday and Saturday or whatever. That's a whole different situation. And most guys never experience a woman's genuine desire for them. Do they know the difference? Do you think? Because I don't think so. I think a lot of guys are really kind of stuck in. They're in what I call transactions. So I got to qualify to have sex with my wife, of all people, right? I'm supposed to be getting the best sex of my life from the person that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, right? So if she had, 3 ways when she was in her having fun in her college days, and she did anal in her college days, or she was much more sexually adventurous and experimental and less self-conscious when she was 23 years old, and now she's 33 years old. I married her, and she just wants to have starfish sex all the time. Is that because she doesn't want me to think that she's a whore, or is that because she just simply doesn't? I'm not the kind of guy who elicits that behavior from her that other guys did, who didn't have to pay the rent and didn't have to pay the electricity and didn't have to jump through all these hoops so that they could get sex out of that girl. She just openly, freely gave it to them. And so, am I getting the best sex out of my wife, my partner, whatever, my long-term girlfriend? Am I getting the best sex that I can? Because clearly I'm not. And now we have evidence of it, like your digital footprint. Well, remember when you were in Ibiza with that dude? And remember you told me you had anal with him? Like, how come I'm not? Like, what am I, chopped liver kind of thing? And so it's becoming more and more difficult for like women to sort of cover their tracks in that sense. But I think that when it comes down to it, there's the urgency sex, there's the anxiety sex, there's that uncomfortable, like you were saying before,
I love anxiety
like the
sex.
tension, the sexual tension between and so when you remove that sexual tension, it's replaced with comfort and familiarity, and that's anti-seductive.
Right. So explain the dread thing, because going back to that, you said there's intentional and then there's like
passive and active.
Passive. Can you explain that?
Okay, so whenever I talk about dread, like people hate the word dread because it has like negative connotations. You're trying to instill dread in your wife? Oh my God.
Well, that's where, you first explained this to me.
You rule your wife with an iron fist, right? you better suck my dick or I'm going to go down to the bar and get my dick sucked, right? Like that's what I call overt dread. It's an ultimatum is basically what it is. And guys, a lot of guys who are sort of immature in all of this, they think that that's what I mean when it comes to dread, which is just like, tell that bitch what's what. You know, you have to have boundaries and stuff like that. It has nothing to do with boundaries. It's instilling dread directly and overtly. The better form of dread is called passive dread, or it's sort of an inactive form of dread. It's a third-party form of dread. So if I go to Access Vegas and I'm sitting around a table with all these beautiful women, you know, my wife knows I'm cool with that and everything. She's cool with it too. But there's still that, you know, okay, there's these women around here and this is what he does, and he's around it doesn't even have to be Access Vegas. Like I used to work in wine and spirits. I used to work in casino marketing and stuff like that too. So I'm around beautiful young women and good looking guys too, right? Because I have to have them there. But I'm, you know, mingling with you know, people who are, you know, elite level physiques and stuff like that. And there's, even if I'm not saying, you know, hey, baby, this is just what I do kind of thing. If another woman finds your man attractive, like if your best friend says, if you're not going to fuck him, I'm going to fuck him, right? That's third party dread. I didn't initiate that. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. So here's the illustration I give is this. Let's just say for sake of argument, you're at a bar and grill or something, and the waitress or the bartender flirts with your guy. That is a positive association for the guy that you are with, okay? Because it means that other women find him attractive. People say, well, what's a high value man? What's an alpha male role? It's the guy that other men want to be and other women want to fuck. Yeah. And there is no better association than your best friend or the cocktail waitress or whatever who like kind of, you know, gives your man indicators of interest. And whether he responds to it or not is irrelevant at that point because you're with a guy who can elicit that response from another woman, but he's with you. Right. And so what happens is that association, that ego association is I'm with a guy that other women want to fuck. Yeah. And so therefore that's an association on your value as well. I'm the kind of girl that can lock down a guy that other women want to fuck. And so that's why that's passive dread in that it's not, you know, it's not dread per se, like, oh my gosh, he's going to go fuck these other girls. But the thing is like other women want to get with him. Therefore, it's going to reinforce that adorer kind of thing, like who you're chasing, whatever you want to call it. Like you have an admiration for that guy, but it's not just an admiration for him. It's also an ego association with you are the kind of girl who can get with this guy and keep him, like you're so good at it that you can keep him from like wanting to get with another. But the overt dread, so I've experienced overt is an ultimatum. And you're just talking, I think it was Mystery, you were saying that if I know a guy's doing that and I've seen it, it's literally like an eye roll for me. Yeah. Like I see that happen. So in the second you know why you do that? Because what they're doing, what those guys are doing is they're trying to manufacture, they're trying to create pre-selection for themselves. Like if I go and I say, I'm so fucking hot, like that's why women don't like egotistical guys, right? Like, I'm so fucking hot, all these girls want to fuck me. Like if I say that, then you'll roll your eyes and go, that's really kind of cringe kind of thing because this guy just thinks so highly of himself and it's totally not true. Just look at the dude, right? That desire to go and build yourself up like that, it's fake. It feels, even if it's not fake, it feels fake because that guy is trying to manufacture, trying to convince you that he's already pre-selected. If another girl says, that guy's hot right there, I really want to fuck, that's real, genuine, organic pre-selection. Whereas if I'm going, if I go and I take a picture by a Lamborghini, and say, yeah, this is my new Lambo, and it's not, it's rent, it's bullshit, right? Or if I go take a picture of myself at Tivoli Ranch, you know, Tivoli over here, and I say, oh, I was just in Milan the other day, because it looks kind of like Milan, right? It's never been easier to fake the cues of high value because we're in the Instagram age, right? It's easier to see a picture right there, and people want to believe it too. But what that's doing is it's a kind of a cheap way of manufacturing pre-selection or social proof. Depends on what your definition is. But the reason why women hate that egotistical son of a bitch who builds himself up and is like full of himself and overtly so is because he's trying to convince you that you ought to fuck him because other women want to fuck him too based on his own word, just his word. Because when women are when women want to get with a guy, they seek the approval of the other women that are in their social circle. So I tell guys this, I said, when you're dating a chick or when you're putting your pictures on Instagram and she's checking you out to see if you're cool enough to hang out with, it's not just her, it's her girlfriend, it's everybody who follows her. Yeah, it's the whole board. Her mom, her sister, her niece, her besties, all the people that are on Instagram. And I mean, that's how you get apps like the T app, you know, right? It's like, and so you're not just dating that one chick or trying to get that approval of that one girl. It's all the girls that are the collective, the sisterhood that is behind the scenes right there. Because women can't just rely on their intuition about whether a guy is legit or not. They got to seek the would you fuck this guy? Because I'm thinking about fucking this guy. What about you? What about you? What about you? So they seek a consensus from the collective as to whether or not that you should proceed further. Now, if the guy is trying to take the place of all those of the whole board by saying, I'm such a badass, this chick wants to fuck me, and that chick wants to fuck me, and this chick wants to fuck me too. So you should want to fuck me as well, right? If I say that is very cringeworthy, and it sets off all of your intuition. It sets off all your intuition.